Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. Welcome back to the Might and Magic 6 completionist run. And let me tell you right now, I have a spring in my step because of the events of the last episode. I am jumping for joy, as you can see. I mean, man, like what a bombshell to end last episode on. Finding our
I don't know.
first relic. The first thing I'm gonna do, if I can get my bearings, is I'm going to get
Would you like
this
to
relic
buy something?
identified because I don't want to keep you in suspense. I don't want to draw this out longer than I need to. And I knew what it was, but now you can see what it was. What it is, rather. It is the one-handed axe Kronos. Now, artifacts and relics are both special items that are essentially drawn from the same pool. The limit of 13 uh, includes both any artifacts and any relics you find, but they are different. So, artifacts typically will have smaller bonuses and no penalties, whereas relics will have large bonuses but will also come with penalties. And this one, as you can see, gives us a whopping 100 hit points at the cost of 50 luck. Now, that 50 luck will mean certain things will do more damage, but the massive gain in health more than takes care of that. The other thing I wanted to show you, but which I didn't want to do with this one, is that you can indeed equip artifacts and relics, like all items, without identifying them first. And because you don't have to worry about cursed items in this game, you don't have to worry about, equipping something without knowing what it does. If you don't like what it does, if you don't like the penalty it has, you can just unequip it. The reason I'm coming up here is because before I forget, I wanted to pick up the horseshoes for the Mire of the Damned. Unlike in other towns where the horseshoes are in the stables, these horseshoes are up here in these hills for some reason. It can be hard to find them if you don't have Wizard Eye, but if you look around for a bit, you should be able to see them. And I'm having Roderick hold on to all horseshoes for the moment. Now, this video, I wanted to just straight away go back into questing, but I'm gonna have to spend a few minutes talking because of the fact that I know that we are now capable of finding artifacts and relics. The reason is because this playthrough I envisioned as being divided into two parts. And the first part is the portion of the game before we start finding artifacts and relics. The second phase is when we are capable of finding them. And the reason isn't so much that finding these items puts us into the end game. No, in fact, we are still very much in the early game. The reason is because of how complicated the whole project of finding artifacts and making sure you're not losing any of them, because of how complicated that is, when the time came for us to do that, I knew that I would have to set some time aside to let you know what the game plan was. And originally, I thought I wouldn't be doing this until I was ready to start farming in either Blackshire or Paradise Valley, which would meant that I would need Starburst and Meteor Shower, which would mean that I would need a lot more levels, which would mean, I don't know, it would be video at least 25 to 30 before we would be finding our first artifact and relic. But now, because I know that we can find artifacts and relics in the chests, or at least in this chest, I don't know about the other ones, I haven't seen what's in them yet. But because I know that we're capable of getting them, I'm gonna have to kind of adapt to the situation and do my whole artifact prep speech a bit earlier than anticipated. But before I do that, there are 2 more chests in this region. I'm gonna open up the map. I haven't even gone to those places yet. One is roughly here, one is around here. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna put the video on pause, I'm gonna go to those chests, and when I get to those chests, and when I'm able to open them, I'll put the video back on pause, but I'll finish the rest of what I was gonna say about artifacts and relics once I've gotten to those. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, here's the first chest, the first crate rather. It is at this point in the map, and as you can see it's now nighttime, so I will be resting before I go on. By the way, don't worry about Alexis's HP, it's mainly because she got this huge boost to her max health, that her hit points look like they're low. Once she rests, she'll get them all back. And that's also why I didn't want to equip this while it was still unidentified, because seeing that would have been a bit of a spoiler about what this item does. Anyway, I think I've already saved, but I'm really paranoid. I keep saving redundantly, but that's okay.
Got it.
We open this, and we find a lot of gold. Ooh, nice.
Ah.
We also find a pretty nice mace, which I think is better than what Serena has.
I don't know.
And this is interesting.
I don't know.
I can tell you right now, this is the highest tier of ring possible. Give this to Serena.
Aha!
Sunray. Not that useful, but I guess we could sell it.
Ah.
And this is also a good thing to sell. Let's just confirm. Yep, 2d5, 2d4 plus 5. Not a damage boost, but we get an attack rating boost, which is... Well, I mean, minimum damage goes up, so I guess technically it is a damage boost. But the attack rating is a bit more important. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save again. Let's rest. Alright, let's save again now that we've rested. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the last crate, and I'll see you once we're at that. By the way, getting to this area was a chore because there were harpies guarding it, and there was a harpy witch that kept cursing us. Fortunately, we have Roderick. He was able to fix us up in the end. So anyway, I'll see you in a bit, alright? See you shortly. Alright, putting things off pause just to show you something else. So, at this point in the map, there is a fountain, and this is very similar to the well in Usurpagal, where if you had less than 15 luck, it would give you more luck, and you could drink from it 8 times before it would refresh, before you would have to wait until it refreshed. So, because all of our characters have less than 15 endurance, we're gonna drink a couple times with each character. So, you're up to 15. You're up to 15. You're up to 15. And because you're at 13, you're now up to 15 and no one can drink anymore. So I could have optimized my stats a bit more if I had dropped my endurance as well at the beginning of the game. But I didn't want to be having too much of a max HP penalty in the early game because it can make things considerably harder. So we're not far from where the final crate is, but I still have a bunch of enemies to fight through, so I will be putting things back on pause, and you can see there are more harpies. So I'll get back to you when we are actually at that final crate. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, finally. It wasn't that bad, but it was still a bit of a slog. So we're at the final crate. I have saved, yes. Let's just open it.
Got it.
And again, we find some good piles of gold. but no top tier equipment.
Aha!
Could be just random, or it could be telling us
I don't know.
about what the capabilities of these crates are.
I don't know.
But chances are
Aha!
it's just random. I'll give that to you,
Aha!
why not? And that to you, everyone's wearing a cloak of some kind. No, you two aren't, so okay, sure, I'll give you that, and I'll give you... I'll sell that, and I'll give you this for now. Let's actually give you the good bow. That would have helped a little bit in all of those combats. What I'm gonna do now, we have some stuff to sell, some stuff to identify. I will see you actually in Castle Ironfist. I'm gonna go back up here and I'm gonna do the area transition on foot, because what I want to do next is do a quest in Castle Ironfist, and when I'm there, when we're ready to do that, before we get into it, I will be talking a bit about my artifact strategy. So I'll see you once we are set up in Castle Ironfist, and I'll include a few of these, and you know, when we're out of this depressing, foggy place and ready to actually do some stuff. So again, putting things on pause, but I'll see you in a bit. All right? Okay. All right, we're back in Castle Ironfist. Oh, I actually forgot a couple of things. I guess I can sell them right now, no problem. But as you can see, I've sold most of my stuff. Let me just get rid of these. Alright, now let's take a bit of a break and talk about what this means. The fact that we are able to get relics from the Mire of the Damned. Now, if you watched my second video, which is on how loot mechanics work in this game and what that means for artifact hunting, you'll know that in that video I said that my plan was to wait until we were strong enough to farm Paradise Valley. I guess Blackshire is also an option, but in my mind I was thinking about high-level areas in this game as my main source for hunting down randomly spawning artifacts and relics. Now, all of that was based on the assumption that in what I considered low-level areas, you would not have random artifacts spawning. So I was under the impression that you could not get artifacts and relics in the chests in the Mire of the Damned. I've played this game many times, I've beaten it a bunch of times, and I would say I've probably opened 20 chests in the Mire of the Damned over my life. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that is a lot of opportunities for stuff to spawn in, and I've never found an artifact there. And nor could I find a good list of artifact-capable chests on the internet. So my entire life I was just under the impression that you could not get artifacts in the Mire of the Damned. And as we found out in the last video, I was wrong. And you know what? I'm okay with that. This is probably the happiest you will ever see me to admitting to being wrong about something in public. Because the fact that we have the potential, at least from that one chest, possibly from the others, but we know at least that one chest is capable of giving us artifacts. That gives us a way to get these items without necessarily forcing us to go into areas with endgame enemies. Now that's good. However, I also got lucky in the last video, meaning I went in there not expecting much. I did do a practice run, but the only purpose of that practice run was I went in, I ran in, you know, before I even started recording to see whether Alexis could open the chest. The rationale being that if I started recording and we got to that chest and I cleared the entire Mire of the Damned map, got to Darkmoor Village, and then got to the chest and found out that she couldn't even open it and that it would kill our party. It would be embarrassing. In fact, if that if things had turned out that way, you wouldn't even have seen the video because I would have scrapped it. But the test I did told me that she could indeed open the chest, which is why I went ahead and did it. Now, in the test that I did, the loot wasn't important, so I got some okay stuff. I got, I think, a plate mail and a wand and some gold, but no artifact. So the test still left me in my blissful ignorance of thinking that artifacts can't spawn in the mire and you're safe to enter without having to worry about that. Why I say I was lucky was that when we went and opened it in the actual run, we saw the artifact the first time. Now, why is that important? You might remember if you watched the whole thing that I loaded the save from before I opened the chest, and I opened it a bunch of times because each time the artifacts would spawn in a... the items would spawn in a different position, and in one of those cases the artifact did not appear inside the chest. So it was supposed to be in there, but because of how the piles of gold and that bow had spawned into the chest, there just wasn't any place to put the axe, and so it wasn't there. And if that's what I had seen the first time, then I would have opened the chest thinking, oh, you know, of course it's not going to have an artifact because the Mire of the Damned can't have artifacts. And then I wouldn't even have bothered using the save file editor to check, and I wouldn't even have known that the game tried to give me an artifact, but I missed it. So I would have only found out probably, you know, another 10 to 20 hours of gameplay later, and then I wouldn't even have known where I lost an artifact, which is the scary thing. So we dodged a real bullet there, because the moment I saw that an artifact had spawned, after that recording was done, I immediately got the save editor open and checked and confirmed that yes, okay, one artifact has spawned in the area and we found one, so we're not missing any. And that is basically what I'm going to be doing from here on whenever we go back to the Mire of the Damned. You'll note that it's April 10th right now, and the calendar date is important because the Mire of the Damned is on a 6-month reset cycle. So what that means is 1st of July is when the enemies and indeed the entire overland map in that area should reset. Meaning we can get those horseshoes again, we could kill the enemies again, although I won't be as thorough about it as I was last time. And more importantly, we'll be able to get all the crates open again, and the artifacts. Now, when we do that subsequent times, I will not be going through and showing you my fresh impressions. Like, when we went there the first time, I didn't know what was in the chests, and we were both seeing it for the first time, and that's exciting in a game, right? You know, you like to see the person playing being genuinely surprised when they find cool stuff. And for the most part, that's how I want to play this game. But because it's so easy to lose artifacts because of weird game glitches, the next time I go into the Mire of the Damned, it will be me having determined what artifacts have spawned, where they've spawned, and whether it's safe. Meaning, so we got this relic in that chest. It could have been a different relic. If the game had been trying to spawn a plate mail into that very crowded chest, chances are we might never have seen it no matter how many times we reloaded, because I don't know what the odds would have been for all the items to spawn with enough space to put a plate mail in. So if something like that happens, then the only way to fix that would be to load my save from before I entered the region, go in, and then it would spawn different things into those chests. All of that is to say, the next time we go, it'll be with me knowing exactly what's in the chests. I won't spoil it for you, you know, I'll wait until we actually open the chests to show you, but just so you know, that's what's gonna happen in another couple months of in-game time. Now, the other thing, I mentioned a save game editor, and as soon as I mentioned that, some of you might have... your eyebrows might have perked up. You might have been like, hey, a save editor, that's a bit sketchy, Ali. You know, you're saying you're doing a completionist run, but would it even count if you're editing your save game? And the answer is no. I am absolutely not editing the save file. All I'm doing is reading the save information. In fact, I am so paranoid about accidentally changing something and messing up my save file that I am not even reading my save file directly. What I'm doing every time I want to read is that I copy the entire save folder onto my desktop, and then I use the save game editor to read that. And then once I'm done, I delete the folder because, you know, if I want to do it again, I'll copy it again with the latest saves. So the saves aren't even being read by the save editor. That's how airtight my process is. So yeah, with all of that done, I think you've gotten a good sense of how I'm going to be handling things when the time comes to go back to the Mire of the Damned. We're a while away from that. We're going to be doing a few quests first. And I think we've done enough immersion-breaking talks about game mechanics. Time to get back into the game. And what are we going to do? Well, let's, you know, organize things a little bit. Keeping this gong. Don't worry, I know it feels like it's taking up a lot of space, but it'll be worth it. What I want to do now is so these are a bunch of rings that Zoltan couldn't identify, and I wanted to, I don't know what they are, rings and one amulet. I don't know what they are, and we're all gonna see for the first time what these are. Okay, this is actually pretty good. I think it's gonna go to Roderick for now. Oh, I can't actually move items in this screen, but I'll give it to Roderick eventually. It's gonna go to Roderick for now because personality will give him extra spell points. Might will give him extra damage, but it's the spell points that I want because his max SP is a lot lower than Serena's. This is just a normal Blessed Ring. Ooh. Whoa, this is an ethereal ring of light magic. I was not expecting to get something like this so early in the game. None of our characters even have light magic yet. But we're going to be holding on to this. One thing I want to test later on with this ring is whether multiple of these will stack. Most people say no, some people say yes. There is one way to test it, and we will be investigating that later. As soon as we get a second one with the same modifier. And of course, we would have to learn light magic and know some sort of light magic spell. But anyway, that's a good thing to find. Charm, personality +5, not high enough to really worry about it. I'm just gonna sell it. Another normal Blessed Ring. And please let this be something cool. Cold resistance, not too much to worry about. So...
Thanks. Come again.
because these are small items, not taking up too much space, I'll keep them here until we have a higher merchant skill. And that way we'll be able to sell them. This I'm just going to equip because I don't want to accidentally sell it. This, as I said, I'm going to give to Roderick. Okay. Well, with all of that done, ooh, we're ready to train a little bit. Ooh, but before we train, I think
Greetings and salutations.
Yeah, this guy will make Roderick an expert in sword,
Okay.
which is very good, because now the skill bonus is also applied to recovery time, which is going to make him a bit quicker in melee. And now we can train. If I could just remember how to get to the training hall. Here it is.
Hey, look at the train.
It's expensive,
Well done.
but, you know,
Well done.
we're earning
Well done.
more gold,
Well
so
done today.
it's fine. It's fine. Now, what do I want to do for you? Yeah, let's start increasing that. And you, my friend, I think... let's raise your perception. I think finally it's time to do that, and... Sure, let's start doing that. I'm gonna give you mind magic. And... yeah, you need to start improving your chain armor. You, my friend, are gonna do something different. All of your points are gonna go into water magic, because it is important to get water magic to 12 as quickly as we can. With all of this done, we're finally ready to actually get back to our questing. And what are we gonna do? Well, first of all, note that it's now 18th April, so time passed while training. That's one thing to keep note of. You don't want to get so carried away training that you accidentally go past an area's reset cycle when you're not ready to. What we're gonna do is, I believe... I always get these mixed up, so one of the dungeons is the Shadow Guild, one of them is the Dragoon's Caverns. I think this is the Shadow Guild. Yes, it is. Okay. So, we are gonna go inside, and let me just refresh your memory. Our quest from Frank Fairchild in New Sorpigal was to rescue Sharry from the Shadow Guild Hideout. Indeed, that's this place. So, we're gonna...
Where are we?
Yeah, Roderick saying, where are we? Dude, like, we've literally just entered the door. Like, what is this? Early onset Alzheimer's? I don't know, probably I shouldn't be joking about that. But, let's see what we have. Now, in this area is a very annoying enemy type. No doubt we're gonna find some of them right away. So these guys have a special ability called Steal, and it's one of those things in the game where it's hard to explain how it works. So, supposedly they will steal something from your inventory when the effect triggers, but some people have said they've lost equipped items. I'm sure that must be a bug. But we're gonna be saving often just to make sure that nothing crazy happens. And we haven't lost anything that I can see. Okay. Okay. Let's heal a bit. Are there more in this room? Of course there are. Why wouldn't there be? Okay. Once we've cleared out this room, that should give us some space to... Oh my god, not ready for two of them to come out. Let's just try and... you know, if we could find a way to... glitch them so that we can hit them but they can't hit us. But with this doorway is... Okay, I think we are... Oh. We're gonna back away. Okay. Okay, so... supposedly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Roderick has lost something? I'm not seeing what he would have lost. Was it gold? No, I'm seeing the same amount of gold, so I'm not so sure how their special ability even works. Which is why every time I see that effect trigger, I'm just gonna load my game. Because I'm not taking any chances. We have an artifact now, and even aside from that, we have items that we don't want to just lose for no reason. Okay, okay. And as with the...
That was too easy.
As with the Temple of Ba, and as has been my practice, I'm now going to cut away until either something notable happens or we see a different enemy type, alright? So, putting things on pause. Taking things off pause to show you that in this room, if you hit this button, that you'll find out that it was a fake wall. It'll lift up and you can go down. So we're gonna go down, and I think we might be seeing the next enemy type straight away in the corridor itself. Yes. So here we have thugs. There are higher level versions of them as well, but these are all the lowest level. They're not a problem. We're just gonna ruin their day.
Got another one.
Okay, and now we're gonna have some very intense room by room combat. I'm just gonna open this door and show you that generally these rooms will be packed with enemies. So you'll want to enter slowly, draw a few of them out, and try not to get overwhelmed. So let's say I'll just take this guy down, and then I'm gonna put things on pause. I'll come back when I've found something notable. Putting things off pause again, just to show you something that's really important. You want to enter very slowly, just tapping the forward arrow until you see one or two red dots, and then immediately turn around and go back. Because if you go in too quickly, you will activate a lot of enemies at once, and right now we don't have a lot of space to retreat into. So just go slowly, right? There's no rush, there's no time limit. Just take your time, alright? Putting things back on pause. Alright, putting things back off pause, just to show you that there are things on the ground between the different furniture items in this place, so you want to check. Especially right now where we don't have expert air magic, so Wizard Eye won't mark it for us. And also in the bucket, you will find alchemy ingredients, and we are way overloaded on furna roots, so we need to make some potions out of those. Okay, putting things back on pause. Alright, taking things off pause. By the way, one thing that happened in between was that I confirmed that they were actually able to take stuff out of your inventory, so after one of their special effects triggered on Serena, I checked and this ring was gone. And I could tell right away because I knew I had put the rings in a line. So anyway, let's see if Alexis can open this chest. She can. I mean, sure, but we're getting to the point where eventually these small sums of money won't matter. But we get a letter from the Prince of Thieves. And you know what? It sounds exactly like what someone who calls themselves the Prince of Thieves would say. Just, you know, being a criminal. Yep. If only he'd done something better with his life. But oh well, I'm sure we'll have a chance to show him the error of his ways at some point. So I'm gonna leave things off pause for a while because I think I've given myself enough room to be able to fight properly. I'm just cast Bless, cure some wounds, and let's see what sort of nonsense awaits us in this room. Okay, again, going in slowly, although these aren't the difficult enemy types. We have yet to see a stronger version of these, by the way. Our wizard eye has run out. Let's even cast Torchlight so we can see a bit better. Okay, what else do we have in here? No doubt. Okay, this is the level 2 version. Again, not too much of an issue. Yeah, see? If I had barged into the room, then all of these would have come charging out in one go. And that's it's not something I would have liked. So just remember, be very slow and very cautious when you're going into rooms and you don't know what's in them. Alright. Alright. We're in good shape. We have another chest. It's a long chest. The texture looks a bit odd, but you know what, that's okay. This is a garbage chest. It didn't even have a trap. You know what? This is gonna be the last dungeon where I pick up items that are that low level. After this, I'm gonna impose my minimum 100 gold rule. And do we have... We do. We've got more enemies there. Let's see if we can... Okay, let's... Don't get cocky, Serena. I know they're easy, but they can still do some really annoying things. Alright. What do we have here? Again, enter slowly. Okay, a couple have been activated. This should be enough room. And what do we have? Only regular thieves? That's good. Alright. We're making decent progress. Although there's gonna be more in this room, I just know it. Nope. That was it. Alright. Empty barrel. You know, sometimes barrels can have stat boosting liquids, but there is also a chance for them to just be empty, and sadly we didn't get anything from that one. What's in this room? No doubt a bunch of garbage. Ooh, no. This has... Oh, no. The game tried to give us a club, but you know what we do with clubs. Ring. I'm not even going to bother identifying that. This is a spiked club, which is worth 40. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. That's worth holding on to. And that's definitely worth holding on to. And what is this? You know what? It was never going to be... It's one of the... I think tier 2 or possibly 3 staves. Not too exciting. We're gonna give might to... who could benefit? See, we wanted someone on an even level of might, and then we would give it to them. But let's give it to Roderick, because he's already at 15. So if we come across another thing that raises your might, if it's at a low level, then we'll give it to the others. Intellect we want to give to is it your intellect is already... Yeah, let's keep giving it to you. It's fine. Accuracy, now that's good. Let's give it to you, keeping our low stats low for now. Yellow liquid, more accuracy. That might raise your bonuses. Indeed it does. White liquid luck. Now your luck took a big hit because of this artifact, this relic, so I'm gonna give you more luck. And finally an empty barrel. So that wasn't too bad. Now, we're not done with this dungeon yet. There's more, and I think what we need to do now is... There was a button somewhere in this room that I'm not seeing any... Oh, here it is. I think we need to hit this. And now this will open. Okay, yep. Alright, let's carry on. What do we have? Oh, we have the best enemy type. I love these guys. They're so slow. Although I say that and they've caught up. Mostly because our bless ran out. So we kept missing a bunch of shots. That's okay. Roderick, cast bless as soon as you can. Right. Alright. Now we carry on. Uh-oh, a bunch of these guys have become active, but I think we should be fine. Yeah, when we have space to fight, we generally are having no trouble. It was only early on when we had to make space in those initial rooms. See, this is an instance of more enemies that spawned as I got deeper into the room. And had I charged in, we would have been fighting these brigands, which is the highest tier of this enemy type, along with those thieves. That would have made for a more complicated fight. So again, slow and steady as you're going into rooms for the first time. And even in outdoor areas, if you're careful, you can only you can make it so that you only trigger enemies, a few of them at a time. What kind of hammer is this? It's an okay kind. It's an empty bucket. This is just decorative, not actually a container. This is a chest. What does this chest have?
Got it.
Ooh, a bunch of things. Finally, we got a potion bottle. I'm gonna give that to you. I'm just gonna, without even identifying, give all this stuff. Although, I think somebody might need gloves. By the way, this is a guild key, a small key. I'm gonna hold on to that. We'll be doing something with that shortly. Does anybody need gloves? You do. Yeah, just wear these. And let's...
It worked.
Mix a mana potion. Alright, let's organize a little bit. Okay. By the way, it's green right now, and I'm pretty sure that means we've killed every single enemy. We've as well opened our shortcut. I believe you have to go to that from the other side. And now we have to open this door, which opens with the key, and in fact the key has been consumed. And annoyingly, this had a trap when we went in there the first time, and I believe the trap is going to trigger again when we go in.
Greetings and salutations.
But there's no way to avoid that if you want to rescue Sharry. Sharry Carnegie. She is pretty happy about being rescued, as you might imagine. There's nothing else in this room. And because this is a small dungeon, because we went through every single room, I'm just going to declare that it is cleared. So what we're going to do right now is... We're not ready to train just yet. I think I am going to... Ooh, I don't want to go to Bootleg Bay. Where am I going? I'm going in the totally wrong direction. I'm gonna go you know, let's take it easy now that we're at the end. I'm gonna walk back to the stables. We're gonna go back to New Sarpagal, and then I'll end the episode when we're ready to turn this quest in. And yeah, it's been a wild ride, but now we're getting back to the steady progress that you're supposed to be making early on in the game. Of course, that guy is not offering service. Let's check the boat, the Zephyr. Hopefully that is...
Welcome aboard!
yeah. It's...
Raise the flag and hoist the sail!
I love the the voice for the ship captains. Yeah, we're back in New Sarpagal, and see we've got some cloudy weather. I actually like this weather effect, both in the game and in real life. And what we're gonna do, now that we're in front of the area where we turned the quest in, is here. I'm gonna call an end to this video. Next time, we will obviously complete this quest, hopefully get another level, and after that, I think we're gonna be making our way to the Misty Islands. So I thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next part. Once again, really happy that we have this artifact. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next part. So until then, take care.